There you go.
Brilliant.
That's working now, John. Yeah. I just checked it. Go on.
So welcome everybody, and welcome Charlotte and Caroline. And so we're going to do first of all, we're going to do a presentation. Joanne's going to do a presentation for us, and then when Joanne's finished, we'll go around and we'll introduce everybody, and everybody can say hello and say what you do and who you are, and all sorts of nice things to us. But first we'll do the presentation by Joanne. Yeah. So over to you, Joanne.
Brilliant, fantastic. I'm just going to share my screen, a presentation. So if you just let me know if you can see the screen. Hang on, I'll just press the share button. So you should be able to see the screen there now.
Yeah, that's perfect, Joanne.
And would you mind if I asked everybody to mute just while I'm presenting this? That'd be great. And I will start the slideshow. Okay, so this presentation tonight is all about the immune system and how sleep impacts our immune system, and also stress as well, how that impacts it. Oh, my slides are running away at me. So what we're going to be talking about today is how sleep affects the immune system. So there's loads of different processes, loads of different immune factors that benefit from a good night's sleep. We're also going to have a look at how stress affects your sleep at nighttime as well, and the immune system. So stress has a major impact on that as well, and all of us experience stress all the time, but the problem is it's chronic, meaning that it's all the time, it's constantly all the time. And we're also going to have a look at gut health as well, and how that impacts our sleep as well, and again our immune system. So a few different areas that we're going to look at this evening. So sleep impacts everything about your immune system, from how likely you are to catch a cold to the risk of developing immune disorders and diseases, and even cancer over long term. So the very first thing that I just want to touch on here is the brain function, but and the nervous system as well. So we have all these different systems in our body. We have our respiratory system, our cardiovascular system, and our immune system as well. So our our nervous system primarily actually governs all of our systems. So a nervous system sends all the signals. Now, when we're sleep deprived, all the signaling actually slows down. So that's going to have an impact on all our systems, including our immune system. So the response is going to be very slow, a lot slower. Another very interesting fact, only when we're sleeping at nighttime, there's this process that happens when we're in a deep phase of sleep. And it's a process where toxins are cleared out of the brain. So it has been shown in the last number of years, maybe the last 15, 20 years, this has really only been discovered, that we do have there's these toxins in the brain called beta amyloid. There's other ones as well, but this one namely has been really researched, and particularly in connection with Alzheimer's as well. And the fascinating thing is when we're in this rest and digest state, this deep phase of sleep, this healing and restorative time during the nighttime, this is the only time when our brain tissues actually shrink, allowing cerebral spinal fluid. So this is the clear fluid that we know in the spinal cord and in the brain. So this literally goes into the brain, and it literally flushes out all of these toxins. So it's like you're getting a house cleaning job done at nighttime while you sleep. Now, a lot of people aren't really aware of this, and it's a really, really important fact. There's so many people now, Alzheimer's and dementia on the increase, and it has been shown as well that in a particular study that people who have experienced restless nights or fatigue, not been able to sleep, or if they're using sleep medication, they were much more likely to get Alzheimer's within the 2 years. Now, there's lots of other factors as well that contribute to Alzheimer's and dementia, but sleep is a very big factor as well. And this figure, 55,000 people living in Ireland, it has to be more than that now, because that's the same figure on the website the last 2 or 3 years. So it is actually increasing, and it's set to double as well. So it's really, really pretty significant, and a lot of people are not aware of this cleaning out function in the brain. So that's a really super thing that's been discovered in the last number of years. So right now, it's never been so much more important right now, this time that we're in, to really look after our immune system and keep it strong. And we're coming into the winter season as well. And this is particularly when we do tend to contract more flus and colds and all these nasty bugs going around. So the biggest thing that we can do to keep our immune system strong is to get a really good night's sleep. And it cannot be overstated. So there's lots of studies that show short sleep and poor quality sleep as well. It increases this risk for catching these infections, bacterial, viral infections. And individuals who sleep for 7 hours or less, they're 3 times more likely to catch the common cold. 6 hours or less, and you're 4 times more likely to catch the common cold. And this particular study here, this is Matthew Walker. I follow him quite a lot, along with lots of other sleep doctors and neuroscientists. And he says, after just one night of 4 to 5 hours of sleep, there is a 70% reduction in your natural killer cells. These are the T cells. Now, these killer cells are only made at nighttime when we're in our deep phase of sleep. And this is because when we're in the rest and digest, it's the only time when they're built up, this army of killer cells, this defense system is only made at nighttime. So it's really important. And it's not just regular quality sleep or quantity of sleep, like light sleep. We really need to get to that deep phase of sleep, because this is really only where they are made. It's also been shown as well that poor sleep was the #1 factor in determining whether someone would get sick after being exposed to the common cold virus. And that's Dr. Michael Bruce. And there was a study done where they got 2 groups of participants, and they allowed one group 4 hours of sleep a night for 6 nights. And then the other group were allowed to sleep for whenever they wanted. And they gave them the flu shot in the middle of this. And the individuals who are sleeping for 4 hours or less, they actually produced 50% less of the antibodies. So if you are not getting sufficient sleep in the week before you get your flu shot, you're going to produce 50% or less of the normal antibody responses. So it's really not that effective. So if you're getting flu shots, you know, come up to winter time, a lot of people go, and I don't personally, but a lot of people do. So it's really important to get a good night's sleep the week before getting this flu shot. Otherwise, it's very ineffective. So we have to go through this sleep cycle at nighttime. So, and the deep phase of sleep I was talking about is stage 3 and 4. So this is really, really important, again, as I say, because the sleep at nighttime is going to clear out the brain, the toxins in the brain. It's also going to build these T cells, these killer cells, part of the immune system. And also we have a better response time as well. And this is down to a protein called cytokines. And the cytokines really are involved in the inflammatory response. So they manage the inflammatory, and we do have inflammation in the body all the time, but it's when the inflammation gets out of hand. So when we have a lot of inflammation, we can experience a lot more pain as well. We're more sensitive to pain. So these cytokines are really produced during the nighttime when we're asleep, and some of them can help us to actually sleep better, as well as having this effect on the inflammatory response as well. So this is what helps to increase, we can recover a lot quickly when we are when we have a cold or a flu or whatever. So when we're sleeping properly, that's why if you go to a doctor or whatever, and he'll say, go home and get plenty of rest and drink plenty of fluids, because our body naturally makes us tired, because it's an innate intelligence of the body to make us sleep so that we recover a lot quicker. Also, another thing as well is sleep and the autoimmune response as well. So when we're, you know, continuously and routinely sleeping less, we're going to be more at higher risk of developing autoimmune disease. And many of us know autoimmune disease as all these different things, psoriasis even. That's the skin condition, the scaly skin condition, arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, multiple sclerosis. There's loads of them. There's hundreds actually of autoimmune diseases. And So this is when the immune system typically overreacts, and it actually damages the cells in our own body. And poor sleep increases this risk for developing autoimmune disease. And this study here showed that people who were recently diagnosed with a sleep disorder, now not sleep apnea, other sleep disorders, they had two groups. And this is actually a very big study done. There was 85,000 people in each group. So it was a very big study that was done. And the people in the disordered group who had sleep disorders, they were 50% more likely to develop an autoimmune disorder within the 3 years following that. So it's pretty significant, and there's lots and lots of people now with autoimmune diseases, and it's very tricky to spot some of them. So that's another interesting thing as well. So we can have short-term and long-term effects on our immune system. Now, melatonin, we know melatonin as our sleep hormone, but it's much more than our sleep hormone. So in relation to sleep, melatonin is necessary for getting us to sleep, but also helping us stay asleep during the nighttime. So helping us to transition through all these different stages of sleep, okay? We go from deep sleep to light sleep. So typically when people wake up during the nighttime, it's when we get to that light stage of sleep again. A lot of us do actually wake up, but just don't remember. We only wake up for a couple of seconds. That's when we're rolling over to the other side of the bed or whatever, but most of us don't remember. But that's when we're starting a fresh cycle again. But melatonin will really help you to transition into each of these cycles very smoothly, that you won't wake up. So it's really important. That's for the sleep element. But it's also an antioxidant, and a lot of people do not relate melatonin to an antioxidant, and we do need to clean the body out all the time. Anti-aging as well, and hands will love the antioxidant part, because it helps to facilitate the mitochondria in the cells, if you like. And the mitochondria are like our powerhouses, and they produce energy. They're the energy of the batteries of the cell, if you like. And our cells are more inclined to communicate with each other a lot more effectively as well. Neuroprotection as well. Melatonin helps with the neuroplasticity in the brain, and also help to protect against those degenerative diseases. Also increases the brown adipose tissue. So the brown adipose tissue is it's like a fat, and there's a lot more mitochondria in this type of fat. And what's pretty significant about this fat as well is it produces heat. So if you notice children, right, running around in the playground or whatever, and they're half dressed, and you're sitting there looking at them and you're freezing and you're wondering why the hell they don't feel the cold, children have more brown adipose tissue. And that's one of the reasons why. And also this brown adipose tissue helps you to burn fat, so the bad fat. So it's really useful for that. Also, melatonin is anti-cancerous as well, and there's lots of studies out there to support that. Now, stress is a really big factor right now at the moment, and there's a lot of mental health issues, and they can be linked to a dysfunction or dysregulation of the autonomic nervous system. So this is the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system. So the parasympathetic is the rest and digest. This is when the body feels safe. And we're not really in that for an awful lot of the time. We're primarily in the sympathetic, which is the fight or flight. And this is, the fight, flight, or the freeze. So that's what most of us know this as. And it can also be measured. I'm going to talk about the heart rate variability as well. So Seamus will like this. Seamus is involved in heart math, and he does a lot of heart rate variability and heart coherence and all that kind of thing. But your heart rate variability can be raised as well, and it can be measured. This regulation in the autonomic nervous system can be measured by your heart rate variability. So we are constantly in this stress state, and it's really, really dangerous because our body's not designed that way. Thousands of years ago, when we were running away from that saber-toothed tiger, we would have a stress response. We'd have adrenaline and cortisol flooding our body, but then as soon as we'd run away, or we'd run or do something that's using up your adrenaline, right? So, but when the tiger went away, we'd go back to our normal way of being. But nowadays, our stress, it could be the traffic, it could be your spouse annoying you, the kids been ratty, it could be an angry boss, it could be many, many things. What we're going through right now is very stressful to a lot of people. So a lot of people have concerns and worries, and that's very stressful. So yeah, so the circadian rhythm, I'm going to talk a little bit about this and our hormones and our stress responses. So we have two hormones in our body. So we have the cortisol and melatonin. So melatonin is our sleep hormone. And I think we're all familiar with cortisol. So it goes in this cycle. Cortisol is primarily highest in the morning time, and that's brilliant, and it's serving a purpose. So cortisol is not necessarily a baddie. We need cortisol to get us up, give us energy, get us focused. So that's the purpose of cortisol. But it does have a rhythm, and our body has lots of rhythms in all our cells. All our cells have rhythms. These are also called body clocks, and it's aligned to the circadian rhythm. The circadian rhythm is primarily influenced by daytime and nighttime. So melatonin is highest in the evening time, obviously, to get us ready for bed and sleeping during the nighttime. But what's happening now in our society is we've cortisol going to bed at nighttime. We've really high levels of cortisol when it's supposed to be low. So there's an imbalance there between these. The two of these hormones are supposed to be, they work indirectly with each other. So there's an imbalance, and it's really one to understand. Cortisol, it serves us, but not at nighttime, because we're supposed to be winding down and relaxing, and cortisol gets us up and going, and it gives us energy. That's not what we want at nighttime, going to sleep. Also, in terms of stress, our amygdala is in the center of the brain. The amygdala is like our emotional center. And when we're sleep deprived, we're easily triggered. If you've ever noticed when you're really tired, you're really easily triggered, very easily triggered. And this is because the amygdala is very, very sensitive, and it's actually amplified 60%. So your emotional health is going to be affected there as well. So these are all the different, digestion, appetite, metabolism, hormones, your temperature even has its own rhythms, and blood pressure as well. And when these are all out of balance, it's going to have an effect on your sleep, but also on your immune system as well, because we're going to talk about a little bit about the gut now, and metabolism, and how this all impacts sleep and the gut and the nervous system, and the immune system even. So the microbiome is, these are our friendly bacteria and our bad bacteria. So a lot of people are familiar with the microbiome. And the microbiome helps with producing hormones, it helps with brain function, it helps with controlling your appetite, digestion, and your mood as well. So they help to digest your food, and they also have an impact on the immune system, because they literally talk to our immune system. So we're talking about the cellular communication. So the microbiome actually talk to the immune system, and it lets the immune system know what's going on and what action is required, basically. So it's a little bit more scientific than that, but I'm just trying to explain it really simply. But the microbiome also produces a lot of other neurotransmitters as well that are associated with sleep. So like dopamine, your serotonin, and GABA. Now, serotonin, the serotonin pathway is involved in, we need serotonin to make our melatonin. So many of us know serotonin is a feel-good hormone. We get serotonin from our neurotransmitter hormone. We get it from the sunshine. So it's really important to get sunshine to produce enough of serotonin during the daytime to enable us to produce melatonin for the nighttime. And 90% of that serotonin is made in the gut. So it's pretty significant. And also melatonin is made in the pineal gland, but it's also 400 times more available in the gut as well. And also stress is going to have a massive impact on gut health, because the two systems that I was talking about earlier, so the rest and digest and the fight or flight and freeze, when our body is in that fight or flight response, well, we don't need to use our digestive system, because we don't need to digest food when we're running away from a lion or a tiger, right? So that's shut down. But also our reproductive system is shut down, and our immune system is shut down, because really what is the priority is getting away from that lion or that threat. We can worry about if we have a cold or a flu. It's not an immediate threat. It is a threat if we have a cold or flu or whatever, but it's not immediate. So it's shut down. So your immune system is comprised. And also your vagus nerve as well is shut off. And the vagus nerve is connected. It's the longest cranial nerve in the body. It's connected from the brain all the way down, right down to the bell. And the vagus nerve, when that is stimulated, it turns on the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the rest and digest. It activates that system. So the vagus nerve is a really important factor here as well. And there's lots of ways that we can stimulate the vagus nerve. Massage, simple things like gargling and humming. So if you're ever doing breathing is a very effective thing to do to turn on the parasympathetic, but it activates the parasympathetic, the vagus nerve. Humming, gargling, singing is great. And a lot of people wouldn't really relate that to a relaxation kind of an exercise. So singing can really raise your vibration, also turn on that parasympathetic nervous system. So let's have a look at what you can do to actually help you get better sleep at nighttime. So the first thing that we need to do really is get into this routine. I talked about all the body clocks and how we're aligned to circadian rhythm. I think that is really the first thing, is to get aligned and really know, listen to your body. We do have natural slumps in the daytime. So it's okay to take a nap, particularly earlier in the day. You don't want to do naps late in the evening time because it will interfere with your sleep drive or your sleep pressure. And naps no more than 30 minutes, because you're going to go into a deeper phase of sleep and you'll feel worse that way. So regularly going to bed at the same time and getting up at the same time every day. And you will find that you will automatically start to wake up at that time, even without an alarm clock. We don't really need alarm clocks if we do this. If we are regular, routinely going to bed and getting up at the same time every day, you will find I don't use an alarm clock most of the times, unless I'm getting up earlier. Like going to the airport. I'm going to the airport on Friday to pick up my son who's coming home from China after 9 months trying to get home. So I'm really excited about that. So I'll be setting my alarm clock for Friday morning. So just thought I'd throw that in there. So yeah, so it's really important to keep a routine, going to bed and getting up, and even on the weekends, because for many of us, we have that lie on at the weekends, and Monday morning is the most people are late on a Monday morning going to work, or find it more difficult to get up on a Monday morning. That's because we've had a lie in on the Saturday and the Sunday morning, and that's why. Now, Joe Dispenza, I don't know if it's Joe Dispenza or Bruce Lipton, says practice gratitude. Now, I always talk about gratitude as well. I do a morning routine with gratitude and an evening routine with gratitude at nighttime before I go to bed. And he says 10 minutes of gratitude a day, 3 times a day for 3 days. It's going to strengthen your immune system by up to 50%. And there's a very good documentary on Gaia, if anyone watches that, it's Gaia or Gaia, whatever how it's pronounced, Choosing Real Immunity, Integrity, or Immunity. Anyway, the link is down there below. And if anyone wants any of these links that I have in this presentation, I'd be happy to forward them on to you. But that is a fantastic interview. Joe Dispenza, I think Bruce Lipton is in that as well. Gratitude, so effective. I like to do this thing called EFT tapping, emotional freedom tapping. It's basically tapping all the meridians. So it's like the end points of all the meridians. Now there's loads of different things you can do to help you slow down so that you will get really good quality sleep. And that's really what we're aiming to do. So that's something I like to do. Now, one of the biggest factors that has us not sleep well at nighttime is bringing our phones to bed. And I cannot stress this enough. There are people out there who are none the wiser. And when you don't know what you don't know, it's, it really has an impact, what you're not aware of. So really be conscious of these things that's impeding our sleep. And mobile phones is particularly a massive one. 70 to 80% of people bring their mobile phone to bed with them at nighttime, and teenagers, children are doing it as well. They're sneaking their phone up to their bedroom. So the blue light stops the melatonin, but also this dopamine and serotonin, they kind of work together with each other, but it has to be balanced because dopamine is like a seek and reward neurotransmitter, and we need dopamine to motivate us. It's like a motivating factor, but it also, when there's too much of it, it can also have us be addicted to things, and many of us are addicted to our mobile phones. Another thing that happens with the mobile phones is it stimulates the brain, so it's really activating the brain, and really we want to slow down these brain waves. So there's a few reasons why mobile phones are not good to bring to bed. 40% of Irish people look at their mobile phones within 5 minutes of waking up. in the morning. So I wonder, is there anybody on here who's guilty of that? And then 3/4 of people do look at their mobile phones within a half an hour. So we're just addicted to our mobile phones. Also our thoughts. What are you saying about sleep? Because our thoughts produce our behaviors, if you like, and our attitudes and our perceptions. So we say things like, I don't have time to sleep. I have more important things to do before I go to bed. I'll catch up on my sleep at the weekend. Lots of different, I'll sleep when I'm dead. Sleep is for wimps. It's like just some people going around with these badge of honors when they're just going, grinding, and that's you're defeating the purpose. You can actually be more productive when you get sufficient sleep and take a rest during the day. And a rest could be just sitting down and having a cup of tea, instead of grinding and going and having to feel like you have to be doing something all the time. Some people just can't sit still for 5 minutes, and it's really, really important. There's more and more people now meditating, and all these factors can help to improve your sleep and help to improve your immune system. And Henry Ford, I love this quote, because when it comes to your thoughts and your perception is what you see is real for you. Whether you think that you can or that you can't, you're usually right. So whatever thoughts or beliefs that you have going on in your head, most of the time you believe your own beliefs, and they're not always right. So we need to question our beliefs. So a few tips: morning routine, getting sunshine first thing in the morning, especially in the first 15 minutes, because that will help to switch off your melatonin. Okay, so sunshine, we need sunshine for vitamin D as well. I know we don't get much of it in the winter time, but even if you get outside, even on a cloudy day, it's still a hell of a lot better than being stuck indoors. So really get sunshine first thing in the morning. Create your wind down routine. Do it an hour or so before bed. Turn off the mobile phones at least 1 or 2 hours before bedtime. Okay, really get into the routine of that. Our sleep it's not like an on-off switch. We have to slow down, and you know, our temperature has to decrease as well. So our core body temperature and all these factors is really, really important to helping us. Avoiding caffeine and alcohol. Caffeine is a stimulant, and it actually takes a very long time for caffeine to metabolize in the body, very, very long time. And then alcohol, it may knock you out, but you're going to have fragmented sleep as a result of alcohol. It's also a diuretic, so you're probably going to get up during the nighttime to go to the toilet. And it's also been shown that it affects your REM sleep. REM sleep is really important. This is your dream sleep, really, really important for your emotional health, your mental health. And then getting up at the same time every day as well. So there are a few tips. There's loads of tips, but they're really, if you can stick to them and just get into a routine where you're aligned to your circadian rhythm, that's the best thing. Because we're naturally, we have this natural circadian rhythm that's responded by day and night, and also by the timing of when we eat, because we never ate in the middle of the night type of thing. So we have not evolved from that. We've evolved from eating during the daytime, and when it got dark, we went to sleep. So even the timing of our eating can influence our circadian rhythm as well. So that's it. I just want to also let you know that I do have, I've no idea how long I've been talking for. I wasn't really timing it, but I do want to let you know that I do have a course coming up in November, the Empowering Sleep Success course. It's a 12-week, it's a live course. So we get onto a call every week for about an hour and a half. And I literally hold your hand going through all of this, and we talk about holistic health, we talk about exercise, movement, nutrition. All these factors are important as well to helping you get a good night's sleep. I'll be giving you lots of tips and tools, worksheets to do, mindset stuff to do as well, because an awful lot has to do with what we're thinking. So this program, I'm selling it for $297 at the moment. It's normally $497. If you go onto the website, you'll see it for $497. Now I'm only taking 12 people on this program. So that's the link if you want to take it down. It will fill up. Its first class is the 20th of November. And yeah, if anyone has any questions, I'm happy to take questions if anyone has any questions.
Thanks very much, Joanne. Fantastic presentation. So we'll just take 1 or 2 questions because you're conscious of time, yeah? So just Donald there.
Yeah, Joanne, you mentioned that the the number of Alzheimer's patients would double in the next 20 years. Two questions on that. What's your own thinking on why it's happening, why that will happen, and what do you think the more conventional view is?
Well, in terms of sleep, this process of clearing out the beta amyloid in the brain is really, really significant, because in the Alzheimer's patients, it has been shown to they have been shown to have clusters of this toxic protein in the brain. So it's a big contributing factor. Now, there's lots of other things as well that can contribute to Alzheimer's, but that is a primarily, you know, the nutrition, our food is terrible at the moment. It's been declining over the years. There's not much nutrition in the soil. The bacteria in the soil is depleted. How we're living, there's more toxins in our environment. The mobile phones, this EMF, this has a massive impact on brain health. So there's lots of factors that can be contributing to it. Sleep is a big one in terms of clearing out the toxins.
Thanks.
Thanks, Donald. Just one more question, guys, and then we'll move on.
I don't have a question, but a comment. Fantastic presentation, and I love that in every slide that you had a reference that we could follow up and to substantiate your claim. I just have one other tip from another Irish guy who actually does sleep apnea treatment. If you eat a good blue cheese at night, your dreams will become more vivid.
Yeah, very good, very good. And yeah. And will you, I'll talk to you later, Hans, because I'm actually looking for a sleep doctor for sleep apnea, because I'm looking for one to interview on my podcast. I'm looking for
there's also a link between diabetes and sleep apnea, which is something huge, is a huge problem.
It is.
And sleep apnea sort of are definitely linked to.
Brilliant.
Who is that
I've
Irish
got a
guy?
quick question for Johann.
Yeah, sorry, Charlotte. Yeah, one question, Charlotte. Yeah.
Yes, Johann, I'd like to congratulate you on packing so much information in. Really, really holistic, amazing. Someone told me recently that the sleep we get before midnight is much, much more effective than after midnight.
Yeah, I'll answer that really quickly, because so we have the circadian clock, and if you look up Chinese medicine and sleep, okay, you'll see that all our organs are primarily active in a 2-hour window. So our gallbladder and our liver is between 10 and 3 o'clock in the morning. Between 1 and 3 is liver in particular, and then the gallbladder is before midnight. So our best good quality sleep is between the hours of 10 and 2 o'clock in the morning, say. That's when we have our best good quality sleep. And we primarily have our quality sleep in the first half of the night rather than the second half. Second half is more REM sleep. So it's good quality sleep where all the healing and repairing is done, and we absolutely need that. And they do say that for every hour before midnight is worth 2 hours afterwards. So yeah, that's why. I could go into a lot more, but that's very brief.
Nice, John. So guys, Donald, you just one last question, Donald.
Yeah. Hans, can I ask you who the Irish guy is in relation to sleep?
Well, he lives up here in Rancho Santa Fe. I can text you his number.
Okay, sure.
Nice, so guys, thanks, Joanne. Brilliant presentation. Really enjoyed it. And at this stage, there's a couple of new people in the group, and so I just want everybody to take 1 or 2 minutes just to introduce themselves. So this is a networking event for the Holistic Academy, and for people who are just visitors to get to know a little bit about who's involved and that sort of thing. So we'll start there with Seamus Power.
Hi guys, yeah, good evening. Great session, Joanne. Thanks very much. Just briefly on the Alzheimer's, I think there's a link to Alzheimer's around diabetes. So diabetes is a really big risk factor for improving or increasing your chances of Alzheimer's as well, and it's commonly referred to as diabetes 3. So a lot of research in that area too. From my own perspective, for the group here, my name is Seamus Power. I manage a company called Powering Health. And after a long career in corporate, I decided I was going to change my stripes from having a very busy, active lifestyle. So a very unhealthy lifestyle, generally around the 4 major pillars like diet, exercise, stress, and sleep. And on the back of that, I went and did some studies, did a lot of reading. Bruce Lipton was a big influence on me. You mentioned him earlier. And really around the importance of lifestyle and the impact of lifestyle. So Powering Health is really about driving awareness of the impact of modern lifestyle, those 4 pillars. and then helping people once they realize that they have a lot more control than they might perhaps realize before. They figure out where are the key aspects of their life that they would be willing to make small tweaks and tunes, and I help facilitate people make those tweaks and tunes, but more importantly, stick and maintain those as permanent parts of their lifestyle from that point onward. So that's me in a nutshell. So Seamus for Pairing Health.
Thanks, Seamus. Come to you, Donald O'Leary.
Sure. Yes, I would call myself a health and wisdom advocate. And I think the question I'd like to ask tonight, it's a rhetorical question. How are you independent of what you have, what you do, and what you know? How are you without any stimulation? How are you with being with yourself without anything particular to look forward to or to depend on? Are you comfortable just to be in your own skin? And that is a lot, that is influenced a lot by perspective. It's also influenced by your health and how well you sleep, etc., etc. But I think that's one of the most fundamental questions one can ask, whether one is talking about health or wisdom. How are you independent of everything external? Thanks, John.
Thank you, Don. Very, very insightful, and I think we'll all need a good night's sleep to answer that one.
Yeah, sleep on it.
Sleep on it. Caroline McDonough.
Hi everyone, I'm a holistic and clinical nutritionist, a life coach and a health coach, and a holistic psychotherapist and NLP corporate coach. And I'm also a lecturer in nutrition. I've been lecturing for over 20 years in nutrition and dietetics, and also for about 5 years in health coaching. And I'm also a speaker. So generally, I just love helping people have healthier, happier, more fulfilling lives. And I tailor programs for individuals, groups, and workplaces. And also my most recent project is I've developed a hair product with a company. So it's called Grow It, and it's great for thicker, longer hair. So anyone who's interested in that as well, you can get in touch with me. Thank you. And Joanne, that was an excellent, very comprehensive presentation.
Thank you so much, Caroline. I just put your details in the chat as well. And I know Caroline, yourself and Joanne are going to be collaborating on the Fluid Human for the Your Holistic Academy. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. That's going to be a brilliant, brilliant collaboration, guys. Thank you so much. We'll come to Jan. Jan, you're very welcome. You're a guest from all the way across the ocean, yeah?
Yes, I'm in sunny downtown San Diego. And first off, Joanne, that was a fabulous presentation. It was really, really excellent. And I happen to have an app on my phone now, and I don't take my phone to bed. I have an app on my phone, though, that is for EFT. So if anyone's interested in learning more about that tapping, it's called the Tapping Solution. And it's an app that not only shows you, kind of walks you through where to tap, how to do it, but also has preset programs. So you don't have to worry about what to say. It kind of guides you through it. So it's really a fabulous little app on the phone. It's very inexpensive. I think there's a free portion and the pay portion is very inexpensive. And so I came from a very chronic stress industry. I was in the settlement industry here in San Diego for more decades than I want to admit. And when that position went away, I realized that my passion really was working with people. I had been coaching people for about 25 years, but not getting paid for it. And so I decided it was time to follow my passion. And since stress was what I knew really well, how it feels, what it looks like, what it sounds like, and how to get rid of it, that's why I wanted to specialize as being a stress reduction coach. So I work with a lot of professionals. Frequently they feel like there's not enough time in the day to get everything done. They feel out of control. And so with my coaching programs, I help them get more things done, find a way to get back in control. And sleep is certainly one of those things. So thank you very much for allowing me to be with you today. It was a pleasure meeting you all.
Thank you so much, Jan. Just put your details in the chat as well, Jan, and I certainly could have done with meeting you 20 years ago. Anyway, we come to Charlotte. Charlotte is another guest from somewhere in the UK, Charlotte, I'm not sure where.
Hi, John. I'm down in Chichester on the south coast. So if you know where the Isle of Wight is, I'm just about above there.
Perfect. Thanks, Charlotte.
Yeah, great. I've been having a few chats with John. He found me on LinkedIn, liked one of my posts. I'm a bit of an advocate for having a tribe. And so I'm here today to meet you all and learn a lot more about your Holistic Academy and what you're all up to. I've had a bit of a checkered career. I sort of found myself 30 years ago falling in love with Louise Hay, How to Heal Your Life. And I was in New Zealand for quite some years. They seem to be quite ahead of the game over there in self-development. And I've studied shiatsu, kinesiology, water shiatsu, lots of different things. But I've also interspersed that with being a businesswoman, starting up a few enterprises. And one that's relevant for today is I set up a wellness centre here in Chichester, where we ended up with 40 practitioners, and we also had a range of wonderful healthy products, as well as we did yoga, and we had about 12 different forms of exercises available. So there's a similar vision that I hold with John, in that I'm passionate about creating or being involved, influencing a well-being economy. That's what where my fire is right now. And that's the discussion and dialogue around that. I'm really, really interested in how do we go from unsustainable GDP, measuring growth through gross domestic product, which the planet, is reflecting back, is just not working for any of us. Planet's exhausted, we're exhausted. So what is the way forward? It must be somehow around, in my mind, measuring well-being, and there are various groups that are trying to work that out. So that's why I'm here today, and really lovely to meet you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Charlotte. And again, just put your details in the chat, please. Trez Nolan.
On mute.
Just unmute, Trez. There you go.
Joanna, that was a great talk. Really enjoyed it. Very interesting and concise. I didn't think there was so much to sleep, to be honest. It's one thing that I love. I love my sleep, and when I have a good night's sleep, I have a great day ahead of me, and I know that I think better, I feel better, and it's always a better day. I didn't realize that you actually detox during your sleep. I'm amazed that I'm amazed how busy we are during our sleep, actually. And thank God we don't have to make all these decisions ourselves, that our body's capable of doing it on its own accord. As a nurse, I noticed over the years that more and more people are being put on melatonin, particularly children and the elderly. Whether it's a fad or what, I'm not sure, but my own dad is on it. He's got dementia. He sleeps extremely well, and as a result, the rest of us sleep really well as well. He's a new person. It really goes to show that, melatonin, when you have it to sleep, it really makes a difference. He had really bad dementia until he started melatonin, and it has improved dramatically with that one medication. And yeah, I just really enjoyed that chat, actually. One of my weaknesses is bringing my phone to bed with me, I have to say, and I find it a very, very, very difficult habit to crack. So if you have any tips, anybody at all, yeah, please pass them on. Yeah, that's probably my biggest weakness, actually. I love to take it to bed and just listen to different YouTube stations, podcasts, and yeah, it's what sends me off to sleep, to be honest. But I know it's not good for my brain. Anyway, a little bit about me. My background is nursing. I've been working with general practitioners for over 25 years. I've also always had an interest in holistic health and have been tipping away at that for as long as I've been in practice nursing. And I finally outgrew that job early this year before lockdown, and I had decided that I'd study acupuncture. I started acupuncture, and then I couldn't travel to the UK to do the practical side of it, so that's on hold. I do energy healing, particularly integrated energy therapy. I'm a life coach. I love helping people and helping them to become the best version of themselves. But presently, I am working on setting up a shop, and I'm actually delighted to say that it is actually happening. I'm picking the wallpaper for the shop today. I actually chose it earlier on, so it's becoming very real. So you're wondering, what am I selling? It's Ruby Rose Energy is the name of the shop, and at the minute I have 10 entrepreneurs that make a range of skincare, so natural makeup, home perfumes. There's one lady that makes fudge, healing coffee, Ling Shi, you might have heard of it. Also medical technology. I don't know if anybody is aware of the microcirculation mat, the Beamer. I can post more information if anybody's interested in that. It's very good for healing all sorts of things. It brings vitality back into every cell in your body. Also Scio glasses on the subject of sleep, very, very popular to actually aid sleep. There's several different programs for sleep relaxation. There's hypnotherapy programs on it as well. Most people use it for sleep. Sends you off to sleep in half an hour. Very, very effective. I have them on my bedside locker. I actually don't use them often enough, but thankfully my sleep isn't too bad these days. The other things that are being sold, nutritional supplements. And so at the minute, I am looking for other entrepreneurs that would like to sell their stuff. And it's 80% health and wellness, has to be, because of the COVID restrictions. Only, essential services are allowed to remain open. So that's one of the reasons why I can open this shop. But I am selling 20% other products, such as fudge at the minute and jam. So that's it from me. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Therese. And you can hear more about Therese. Therese and myself are doing an interview tomorrow on Facebook Live, 12:10 if you want to hear more about Therese Nolan. Thank you very much, Therese.
Thanks, John.
We'll come to Fiona Brennan.
Hi, everyone. How are you? Again, Joanne, brilliant presentation. Love listening to you. So can't get enough of that stuff. So I am a mindset and success coach, and my business is Inspire Action Success. And I work to help women in business, either to start up, becoming an entrepreneur, or who are already set up and established and need help to up level their success, but are finding themselves stuck from things like confidence, time management, overwhelm, clarity, juggling, and self-worth and focus, and all the self-limiting things that come with trying to, I suppose, juggle a business and maybe home life at the same time. So I work, basically with female entrepreneurs. I'm also a project manager, and I bring the project management skills into my coaching as well. But most of my coaching is based on mindset and transformation. So that's me.
Thank you very much, Fiona. And I'm also doing an interview on Thursday at 12:10 with Fiona Brennan on Facebook Live. Anybody wants to find out more about Fiona. So we come to Mary Mullally. Mary, you're...
Yes, my name is, my husband had to obviously borrow my laptop, and it had changed. And I didn't want to try and change it, because then I probably would have disappeared altogether. But my name is Mary Mullally, and I am an energetic massage therapist, a complementary therapist, specializing in energy work and quantum coherence. But at the same time, I am also the Irish agent and distributor for a range of massage oils, creams and lotions, excuse me, called Pure Pro. I import them from the States, from Western Massachusetts, and distribute them to massage therapists. They would be my main target market. massage students and schools, colleges around the country, but also cancer support centres as well. I have a number of those using it. I'm also the agent for UK and Europe, but there's a lot of issues of sending product out of the country, international airline restrictions. So I'm tending to concentrate on the Irish and Northern Irish market at the moment. So it's Pure Pro Massage Products Ireland. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mary, and just put your details in the chat as well. And congratulations to Hans Parrish, our newest member of your Holistic Academy, just signed up today. Congratulations, Hans.
Yes, great. Well, so my business name is Reset Aging with Science. My background is pharmaceutical biomedical research, and moved into the world of wellness and prevention, and more specifically anti-aging, about 11 years ago. So my passion is my priority is to rectangularize the survival curve. So you have fun, die as late in life as possible, rather than have fun, less fun, and then take 10 years to die like my mother. My passion is also, most people think that they are thinking, including myself, but really all we're doing is we are rearranging our prejudices, and Donald can speak to prejudices very, very, very wisely. So my passion is to have people think and look at things and aging in a different way, because when we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. And I also, because I'm not a very clever guy, try to keep it incredibly simple. And it comes down to a phrase that one of my mentors has made, which is, it is truly amazing what the human body and its immune system can do when provided of all the raw materials it needs to function. So the question then is, are you providing? And all of this chasing, what do you do here? What do you do there? Why am I not getting enough sleep? Why do I have dementia? What is happening there? May really, really have a root just in that basic provision. So I would very much encourage people to ask themselves that one question: are you nourished? And how do you know? And how do the people that you know and love and that you're paying good money to, how are they tracking objectively your state of nourishment? Because that will also affect your immunity, it will affect your sleep, it will affect everything that you do. And I think for people in wellness who are in a very, very difficult business, because we don't pay for wellness, we pay for sickness, I would actually hold our sick care industry responsible to make sure that we have a nutritional foundation in our population that allows us to do the stuff that's happening of any persuasion, and do so objectively. So sorry for getting on my bandwagon and so forth. But
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Anne. Brilliant to hear from you. Beamy Corbett. Beamy, we had a most beautiful conversation earlier today with Beamy. Beamy, can you introduce yourself to all the beautiful people here?
Hello, loads of new people here, new faces here. Hi, everyone. I'm Beamy Corbett, and my business is called Signature Veda. Joanne, I loved your presentation today, wealth of information. Like I have Joanne's book, which is called How to Get a Good Sleep. Am I right, Joanne? And, it's amazing. I highly, highly recommend. My husband's currently reading, and he's, that's the book. And he's a critique, and he keeps complimenting your book. I'm almost jealous. I'm like in a bedtime story, and he keeps, do you know this happens to your body? Do you know that happens? And it's all from your book. And there's so much information, and even about like essential oils and things. And, I highly, highly recommend Joanne's book. And thank you. I'll have to go back again, because even the book, right? I mean, you have to read it up, a couple of times to really, there's a lot of information in there. Thank you, Joanne. And about me, I make 100% natural skincare products and perfumery art So through Signature Veda products, so Signature Veda, and I am currently I'm doing a lot of things. When you talk about sleeping, I'm very active while I'm sleeping, Joanne. I'm kind of getting ideas and very active and thinking stuff for the next day, and the next day I'm like not very productive. This is happening in the past couple of days, probably because I'm doing a lot of work with the reg affairs and all that with my products. So that's about me. I'll put in my information there. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Mimi. And Nolene Kelly.
Hey everyone, those of you that I haven't met before, my name is Nolene from Nutrition with Nolene, and I help people with weight management and healthy aging. I believe that, I use fat burning systems, dense nutrition and supported intermittent fasting to do that. I believe that everyone needs what I have, they just don't know it yet. And most people wait until they're sick before they do anything about it, where I prefer to be proactive rather than reactive. But once they try something like what we have, they feel fantastic then, and they realize the difference. Hans said it so much more eloquently than I ever could, but he's saying exactly what I tried to say. I believe that if we give our bodies the right food, the food that it needs in the right amount at the right time, the body does it all. We don't really, if we supply it with the right fuel, it can repair itself. It makes it energy itself. It does everything it's meant to do itself. We don't need to do anything more than that. And Joanne, as you say, if we don't have the sleep, the change doesn't happen. There's just so many things that the sleep supports and helps with. All those things just don't happen. So that's me, Nolene from Nutrition with Nolene.
Thank you so much, Nolene. And Jackie Taff, you there, Jackie? There you go.
I'm here. How are you? How's everybody?
Good,
Hi, Jackie.
Joanne, incredible as always. And one of my favorite things is sleep. I have been naturally blessed over the years to just have a wonderful sleep pattern. I don't know, because I always was that way, or but I suppose the downside to that might be is that you could see me going off to bed. I could sneak off now actually if I could get away with it, and but I always find the change in the clocks not good, and I wish they would stop changing the clocks, full stop. Because it has an effect, and I think is it the fallback or the spring forward that's more dangerous, that causes a heart attack. So I wish they'd stop that. So we'll see how that goes. But you're incredible, Joanne.
Thank you. There's only a 2 or 3% difference in the numbers of the heart attacks, but yeah, they're both nearly as bad as each other.
Yeah, and there's definitely, I know for me, definitely it has affected me, and even at the minute it has affected me, and it'll probably take, though I shouldn't say this because then I'll welcome that in, another maybe 3 weeks for me to go into that normal. Wow. For now, for winter, isn't it? And you notice it, and actually my daughter's the same. I've noticed it affects her exactly the same. So yeah, but anyway, yeah, fascinating. You're fabulous.
Thanks, Jackie. Love you.
My name is Jackie Taff, and I'm a life mindset coach, but I suppose my purpose and aim is to inspire, heal and empower. And one of my philosophies on life is that I didn't become more confident and I didn't change. I just became an authority on myself. And when I work with clients, they become an authority on themselves and they change their lives. And so I absolutely love what I do. Every day I learn something new. Every day I love if somebody tells me something new, and I get curious and more curious every day. So I just love what I do. If I didn't say that before, I'm saying it again. I love what I do, and it's incredible. And I'm blessed because I've met a wonderful bunch of people here at your Holistic Academy, and very like-minded and all very different, but yet all the same. And I love that. That's what's unique. So that's me. Oh, by the way, I've got a book coming out in February, believe it or not, the 18th, 2021. And I've put the pre-order link in, and it is a personal story. It's a part of my soul. It's a part of my heart. It is me sharing something quite personal. But the aim is that it's not actually about the event or the story itself. It's about the journey and the learnings and the lessons I have taken. And my aim is that by others reading it, they may see something in it for themselves. So the aim is to inspire, heal, and empower. And I kind of don't believe this at times, but anyway, I keep saying this. I said this to Patrick and John the other day when they kindly interviewed me. So that's me. I'm done. Thank you.
Jackie, fantastic. And Jackie, I'm going to tell you something. You are incredible. Patrick Mercy.
Thanks, John.
Thank you, Jackie. Patrick is sort of responsible for all you guys. Isn't that right, Patrick? So we're going to hand over to you now.
Hand over to me. I always thought, I was always told I'm different, right? And that there's something wrong with me. Now, I never believed there was anything wrong with me. I believed I was different, all right. And after listening to Joanne's excellent presentation, I know I must be different, because the 5 tips you gave, Joanne, I follow 4.5 of them. Of the 5, right? The half I don't do is like the odd time I might have a beer in the last 2 hours before I go to bed. But I follow all your other tips, and I still, for the last 20 years, never sleep more than 6 hours. And I haven't gotten a cold in 10 years, and I've not been to a GP for 11.
Oh, you're very different then, so.
No, I know. But excellent presentation, so thanks for that. In a previous life, I used to make loads of money, but not a lot of sense, right? And that was something that I did throughout my corporate career. Now I understand, because if I were to say 3 words to everyone here in this room and to everyone I meet, you are complete, you are whole, and you're unbroken. And I used to be I think I was any of those before, because there was too much stuff in front of me, too much responsibilities and money and targets and whatever it was that people throw at me. Now I understand that I'm complete, whole, and unbroken, and I understand that everyone else is that as well. And now I guide people, and whatever way I do that is not really important, but I guide people from that process of being to like the understanding that you're complete, unbroken, and whole, and that you can be whoever you want to be. And that process of guiding that is what I love doing. A bit like Jackie, right? I love doing this. So that's me. You don't need to know any more about me. That's just what I do. I had a client who the other day, when referring me on, said, I don't know what he does. I don't know how he does it, but it's working, right? So that's basically it. Thanks.
Thanks, Patrick. So guys, what I'm going to do now is